Welcome back to Lynn's Spotlight Daily, your daily scoop of entertainment buzz. Shia LaBeouf opens up about ambition, Timothée Chalamet, and the double standards in Hollywood. In a recent interview, Shia LaBeouf, once dubbed one of the most promising actors of his generation, opened up about something that hit a nerve with a lot of fans and industry watchers alike: the way ambition is perceived in Hollywood, and how that perception changes depending on who is expressing it. And the person he used as a comparison? None other than Timothée Chalamet. Shia said, quite plainly, that he and Chalamet share a similar drive. They both want to be great. Not just good, great. They both carry that same hunger, that same desire to push themselves, to go deeper into their roles, and to leave behind work that actually means something. But according to Shia, when he said it, people rolled their eyes. They called him arrogant, intense, or even unstable. But when Timothée says the same thing, it's charming. It's sweet. It's ambitious in a poetic way. This is where the conversation gets interesting. There's something raw and deeply human about what Shia said. It's not about jealousy, at least, not in the obvious sense. It's more about frustration, about image, about narrative, about how Hollywood picks and chooses who gets to be the tortured genius, and who gets labeled the problem child. Shia's had a complicated career. From Even Stevens to Transformers to indie gems like Honey Boy and the Peanut Butter Falcon, he's shown range, commitment, and undeniable talent. But his personal struggles, legal issues, addiction, and allegations of abuse have shaped the way the media sees him. There's always been a storm cloud hovering above his name. Timothée Chalamet, on the other hand, has been carefully presented to the world as a modern-day James Dean, sensitive, stylish, articulate. A rising star with a spotless record. Someone who quotes Shakespeare one day and shows up at the Oscars in a hater Ackerman suit the next. They're both serious actors. They both work with auteurs. They both dive deep into roles. And yet, the way we talk about them couldn't be more different. Let's pause here and really think about what Shia is pointing out. When Timothée talks about wanting to be great, we see it as part of his charm. It adds to his mystique. It fits the narrative we already have in our heads, the young, artistic heartthrob with layers. So his ambition feels earned, or at least, easy to root for. But with Shia, his past, both the brilliant parts and the messy ones, makes it harder for people to just take him at face value. There's a lingering sense that he's got something to prove, or something to atone for. And that changes how people hear him, even when he's saying the exact same thing. It's a subtle but powerful example of how bias works in Hollywood. Not just the kind that gets talked about in think pieces, but the kind that lives in how we, the audience, feel about someone. The lens we use to interpret their every move. Hollywood, as we all know, is obsessed with likability. And it's not always fair. Two people can have the same talent, say the same things, do the same kind of work, but if one is easier to like, they'll get the benefit of the doubt 100 times over. This isn't to take anything away from Timothée Chalamet. He's worked hard, he's made smart choices, and he's earned his spot. But Shia's point isn't about Timothée not deserving praise. It's about why he himself doesn't get that same grace. It brings up a deeper question: who gets to be complicated? Who gets to be intense? And who gets labeled difficult or toxic for being the exact same thing? Fans online were quick to pick up on this. Some praised Shia's honesty. Others felt it was a way of deflecting from his past behavior. But many agreed, he was shining a light on a pattern we've seen again and again in Hollywood. Think about how many actors have been labeled genius for the same intensity that got others blacklisted. Think about how many artists get second chances, or third or fourth, while others are shut out for one misstep. And think about how different that conversation becomes depending on race, class, gender, or even the kind of movies an actor chooses to do. Hollywood isn't just about talent. It's about timing, presentation, public relations, who you know, what your past looks like, and whether or not people want to root for you. Shia LaBeouf is not without fault. His past is complicated. He's admitted to some of it, denied other parts, and gone through periods of intense public scrutiny. But no matter where you stand on him personally, there's no denying that he's been one of the most talked about, polarizing, and undeniably talented actors of his generation. Maybe what makes his comments about Chalamet so compelling is that they're not coming from a place of envy, but of recognition. He sees a younger version of himself in Timothée, not just in ambition, but in potential. And he's noticing, in real time, how differently the world reacts. It's a quiet reminder that for every rising star we celebrate, there are others in the shadows, wondering why their shine didn't land the same way. At the end of the day, this isn't a battle between Shia LaBeouf and Timothée Chalamet. It's a reflection of the system they both exist in, and how that system continues to uplift some while quietly pushing others aside. As viewers, we get to choose who we admire. But maybe it's worth asking why we admire them, and whether we're being fair in how we judge the ones who don't fit quite as neatly into the mold. Because if greatness really is the goal, maybe the path to get there shouldn't matter quite so much.